Hi guys, welcome back to the channel, and this subject is
Best friends.
best friends. Now, we are going to talk about how long we've known our best friends, how long we've annoyed them for,
Oh god.
and how much they really love us, I guess. Or we love to annoy them, but either way.
I'll go first. My best friend that I've known the longest, Dakota. I've known her for almost 10 years now. I met her on the first day of 10th grade.
And you've been annoying her ever since.
Yep. It's when we found out that we were technically cousins. And like you, I latch on to family and annoy them. Like I have with you. But we've been like close for about 9 years.
I've been annoying you for like, how long has Uncle Hans been gone? 12 years. I've been annoying you ever since Uncle Hans passed away.
Yep.
So 12 years. I've been annoying you ever since. I think in the past 4 or 5 years, me and you become like more like sisters than anything.
Yep.
Really, the last 2 years, honestly.
Yeah. We've become a whole lot closer.
We love annoying each other.
I don't really talk to a lot of people, so you're like one of the three outside of my fiance and his family and all that comes with that. That I talk
Well,
to.
with that family, you have a lot of like extra siblings.
Yep.
I know that she's claimed to me too. So his aunt. So.
Yep.
And it came in hand because like I dated his cousin and I dated him and I dated three of his cousins. Let's see, how many have I dated?
You've dated.
I did Javi,
Javi.
Jose, Juan, and flirted with George.
Yep. And all we're never like a thing.
No,
Like
I would have loved for us to have been a thing.
we'll call it 3.5.
3.5, huh?
Because you weren't a thing, but you were like doing some heavy flirting.
Oh, we were heavy flirting.
Yep.
Now I just exposed him, and he's probably walked into a room because he heard his name called, and he's like, "What? What? Chesley? My name, George?" It came out of her mouth. Because Josh is probably already playing the video for now.
It's a big family.
It is
so-
a big family. Mama has 10, 15. I gave her an extra 5 kids.
I think
Technically-
there's a total of 11.
Technically, there's 11 kids, but then you add me, Roberto, and you, and Josh.
14.
and you get 15. Because Josh is her grandson. It's going to warm up in here.
Me, Roberta, Josh. 14. Because one of them doesn't.
One of them doesn't count.
She doesn't count Edgar.
No.
It's fine by me because he doesn't
No.
count anyway.
No, he doesn't come around, so he doesn't get counted.
Technically, it's supposed to be 15, but it's actually 14. She actually, because he may be the oldest.
He might be the oldest, but Jennifer's the oldest.
Yep.
And Jen's probably like, yeah, I'm the oldest. She's like, I always wanted to get her that older pest.
I mean, I understand because
He's not
he
around.
doesn't associate with family.
He doesn't associate with us. He doesn't talk to you anymore. He doesn't talk to
Really
Josh.
talk to anybody.
He doesn't want to talk to Josh. And every time he does, he just throws money at the problem. And Josh is not a problem. Josh is a child.
Yep.
And it's like I was talking to one of my friends. Josh is kids are a blessing from God. So Josh is not a bother. Josh is not a problem. Josh is
You can't
A
throw
big
money
monkey turd.
at kids and expect them just to be okay. No, it's not what to do.
exactly. So, yeah, I think in a lot of ways, I'm still friends. I don't know if me and him are the best of friends, but me and Roberto, I mean, I'm here to annoy him. I'm here to take the crap out of him because now I'm single and, you know, I gotta make up for lost times. But best friend relationship wise, I have been the best friends with my best friend for, I want to say 17 or 18 years. I met her the year before Wayne and Amanda got married. I don't like to talk about my brother or his ex on this channel because that's the past. I basically don't like to talk about my brother on this channel because my brother is a very private person. The only brother that I openly talk about is your fiance, which is my ex. And no, for y'all that are asking, no, it's not weird to be have a brother-sister relationship with your ex. At least it's not for me. It's not like we actually ever went out on a date, so, you know, it's not really awkward for me. Now, I enjoy annoying the crap out of him, yes. And he enjoys annoying the crap out of me. I can tell you firsthand, and I'm going to go ahead and expose him. We love half art contests. I mean,
True siblings.
true siblings if you can have a farting contest with your sibling. Or you can have it's a true mother-daughter relationship if you can have a farting contest with your mother. My mom's just looking at me like, I'm going to whoop your butt later. But, my best friend's name is Kayla. She's, like I said, she's been in my life for about 18 years. She's, I'm going to say what she said last night. She's the best thing that's ever happened to me. In a lot of different ways. Friendship-wise. The past several years, she's been really good. She's been there for me anytime that my parents have been sick. If I've needed to go somewhere and they've been in the hospital, she'll, you know, pull out all the stops to come and get me and take me home to get clothes. If I've gotten to the hospital without clothes. The last time that I was in the hospital with a parent was Mom, and it was during COVID. It was last year. It was in August. The first 3 or 4 days of August, first 5 days, she was sick. The first 5 days of August, she was sick. She was starting to get sick a month after Dad died. And Kayla was there for me then. Kayla was there for me when Daddy passed away. She actually took me to the funeral home. I'm pretty sure I made my brother and my sister-in-law mad at me then, and I really didn't care because I feel like that was Kayla's right because she loved my daddy too. And you did, and you were there for me at the funeral home too. And you were there that night that Daddy passed away, and Kayla wasn't able to be there. She was not feeling well. And plus she didn't really want to be around the EMTs because of COVID. She didn't want to take it into her parents. And y'all were both there for me at the place where he's buried at. That was the outdoor funeral. We were very limited. We had to spread out there.
Yeah.
I don't think the only people that we weren't really up on was the people from the funeral home because they're constantly exposed to it. So we all tried to stay away from them. I know firsthand that, you know, I probably wouldn't have been able to survive if I wouldn't have had either one of y'all. It's just hard on me, and I think having a best friend that can talk to you like my best friend talks to me, when, you know, even, I mean, she said it last night, she's like, even though I don't talk to you every day, or I don't see you every day, I still think about you all the time. And that's just the way it is with a best friend. And that's what I told her. I said, well, I think of you all the time too. I said, even when we're not talking, I said, I always want to know that, you know, you're safe and you're, you know, all that other stuff. And the day that we had the storms, I told her, I said, I'm gonna be your wife for like 2 seconds. I'm like, I didn't want you going to work today anyway because of the storms. And she was like, yeah, I know. Because I think between all three of us, I don't think either of us like storms.
Nope.
I mean, we're okay with thunder and lightning, but you pop in like a tornado warning or tornado watch, and we're all three just like, where's the nearest shelter?
Yep.
Where's the nearest place I can hide? It's more like it.
And Dakota, I've known her for like 9 years at this point. And she's been there for me through the tough times.
She was there for you when your mama passed.
She was there for me when my mom passed. She wasn't there the night that everything went down because she was in Tennessee that night.
Yeah.
And so the only other person that I called was my ex-best friend. And her and her sister rushed over there and were there even before the like EMTs and stuff arrived.
Wow.
Yep. Her sister had to go out and move the vehicle so the EMTs and the cops and stuff could get into the driveway.
Yeah.
Because as soon as everything started happening and Dad had called 911 and got that, I'm like, I need someone here. I'm falling apart. And Annie was
And
there
I
within
couldn't,
like 5 minutes.
I couldn't go and do that because my mom had just gotten out of the hospital for the first time because she had been sick.
And Annie was there within like 5 minutes, which is weird because she lived like 15 minutes away, so I'm sure her and her sister were speeding.
I'm pretty sure, yeah. I don't know, was your dad speeding that night when he came over here? When he rushed over here?
Yes.
Yeah. I'm 99.9% sure that my cousin, your aunt, Penny, was speeding too. Which wouldn't surprise me.
Because we live about as far as we do apart, which is like, what, 15-20 minutes?
15-20 minutes-ish,
Which
yeah.
is about the same length that me and Annie were living apart at that time.
Yeah.
When she was still living with her mom.
Yeah.
So they rushed over at like 5-6 minutes maybe at tops.
Yeah. I know that,
And like she helped me get stuff together so that we could go to the hospital because I couldn't function at the time.
right.
So
I know
she
that
kind of took over everything.
I sent my daddy up there the next day, and he told me he did. I asked him, I said, will you give Shanda like the greatest big hug? And I said, just hold her for like a few minutes for me. And he was like, sure. I was like, okay. And I know at that point in time that I was crying because I wanted to go with him, but I couldn't go because Mom was so sick still. She had just woken up from a coma, and I remember the night that we took her to the hospital, and it was also the night that Kayla showed up at the hospital. She was like, you can do this, you can be there for your mama, you can be there for your daddy. That's what best friends are supposed to do. They're supposed to. They take over when you can't think and function straight.
Yep. Which is what Annie did at the time.
Yeah.
And what Dakota did too, because Dakota showed up the next day, the next like afternoon, because I had texted her and she was on her way from Tennessee and she was there by the next weekend.
Right. It's like, I mean, if you don't have a best friend because you've lost your best friend, just stay close to somebody. I mean, you don't have to replace that person.
No. I mean, I'll never replace Annie because I've lost her because she's just moved on.
Yeah.
But there are other people in your life who can mean just as much as that one person.
Yep. I haven't replaced mine, even though we don't talk as often as we want to. I haven't replaced her with you. I haven't replaced.
You've just added me on.
I've
to
just
it.
added you on.
Just like when Annie decided to disappear off the face of the earth, I added Des in. And me and her are best friends now too.
And no, it's not weird to be friends with your ex. It's not weird to be siblings with your ex. It's not weird to, unless, something really bad happened.
Sometimes it's easier to go back to being friends. Like me and Des were friends to begin with. We were like really close friends. And then we decided, hey, let's try a relationship. That
Right.
didn't work out. We realized shortly thereafter that we were better off as best friends than trying to add romance to it because it was just weird and awkward.
All right.
So sometimes it's just not meant to work out in a romantic sense, which is
I would love to
perfectly
have
fine.
my relationship back with somebody, but I don't think that they would like to have our relationship back. So, our friendship relationship. So,
Well, it is what it is. Sometimes it's not meant to work out. Sometimes God just says, no, you don't need that person in your life.
I needed that person at the time when we were together. I needed them, and they were there for me, and I'm really glad that they were.
Well, sometimes God puts somebody in your life right then because you need them right then, and then they'll move on, and you both grow apart.
And we did. Pretty much like ghosted.
Yeah. Well,
Somebody
it
asked me the other day about my ex. I was like, that tub of lard. Oh, there is rumors going around that his now wife
Mhm.
is working with Austin. I'm gonna say it, and it's not gonna be nice, but she better stay in her lane.
Yeah.
Even though me and him are not together, she better stay in her lane.
I'm not friends with a lot of my exes, but I am close to one or two of them.
I'm sorry, I'm picking my nose on camera.
I'm
It just-
close to Des, me and her are like best friends at this point. I'm kind of close to Glenn, but his wife doesn't like me.
Glenn's married now?
Glenn is married already. Glenn has a baby.
That's news to me.
Their daughter is like a year old at this point.
Hi.
But I'm kind of close to Glenn as much as I can be when his wife Tabby doesn't really like me. Which,
I mean, I don't like me sometimes either, but
I understand why she does not like me, but it was high school. We were teenagers. We did. And what I did was bad. I realize that now as someone who is not like 17
right.
anymore. I realized that that was not a way to cope. Because
Right.
daggone, I was either 16 or 17. It was after Mom had passed.
Right.
And I was just in a rut. And I kind of went off the handle at school. I would sleep through 90% of my classes. Failed 90% of my classes. Got in with the wrong crowd. Which is why Tabby does not like me. Her boyfriend at the time was in the crowd of quote unquote bad boys that I hung out with.
Well then.
And it's gonna make me sound so horrible. I knew they were together. I knew him. I was like one of his best friends. we've been in school together since like kindergarten. At one point or another, I had a crush on him, but I never said anything. And then he got into the wrong crowd with the drugs and booze and the pill popper bad boy
My.
stuff.
Yeah, when you were like that, you were very, I'm gonna be nice, but anyway, you were very
Tell me how I was, because I've never heard your
Buttholy.
opinion on like
You
when
were very
I was
buttholy. I was looking back at some of our conversations. You were very buttholy.
I
You were
got in
very mean.
with the wrong crowd.
You did, and it lasted, what, 6 months?
I
You
was
were-
in with like the druggies and the pill poppers and the alcoholics.
You were very, 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 very rude. And if I could look back at it now, and I was, if I would have been driving at that point, I'd have drove to the house and I'd be like,
But I don't know.
by the way, fun fact, I didn't actually just hit her. I floofed her hair.
But I was not in a good place. back
No,
then.
no, you weren't. You had lost.
After mom
You lost your
passed,
mom.
I just lost.
You lost your sense of
everything.
function.
Yep.
I mean,
I slept 90% of the school day. I
depression, because I'm going through that still at the and so is mom. But we sleep 99.9% of the time.
it lasted 6 months before I started to get out of like the bad kid club phase, which is she
Yeah.
doesn't like me because of that, and I understand. Me and her were never really friends, but what I did to her is unacceptable.
Right. Well, I mean, life goes on too. So it's like
Well,
BTS says,
they're not together anymore.
"Not gonna go."
They're not together anymore. They
Right.
broke up shortly after things got complicated between me and him and her.
Right.
And I knew that he was in a relationship. I knew that he was in a relationship with her. And I still chose to do what I did with him.
Yeah. So you have to be very grounded when you lose someone you love.
I didn't really have that. I mean, Dakota tried, and Annie,
I think if me and you would have been closer, I think it would have been better for you.
but Annie didn't really know what was going on. Annie's the one to follow like the crowd anyway, so I kind of pulled her into the bad kid crowd too. And Dakota didn't know what was going on because I acted fine around her.
Right.
No, fuck that. She didn't know what was going on because I told her about the girls and shit. And she knew what was going on to a certain point. She didn't approve of it. She tried to help me stop with the whole like bad kid phase that I went through.
Yeah. Like I said, I think looking back at it, if I would have been if we would have been closer, and I'd have been a better cousin, I probably could have just like pulled you back in. Mainly because I don't like to see anybody go down that road. Even if it's just a phase. I mean, if I didn't have mom, I probably would have not have. I probably would have been going down a bad road too. So
It was a phase, and I finally realized what was going on when your twin talked to me. She sat me down and she was like,
Quincy,
Yep. But the twins sat me down, and I'm like, okay, yeah, maybe this isn't such a good idea.
yeah,
And they both kind of got me out of that whole phase. And I'm glad
that's
it
when y'all
was a
become
phase.
closer. When y'all all became closer.
Yep.
That's almost around the time that Kenz's twins were born.
Yep. But it is.
Sure.
I'm glad it was.
Chelsea and Danner
Yep.
Jr.
I'm glad it was a phase. But looking back on it now, if I could change it, I would, because I was horrible to a lot of people.
Oh yeah.
I was mean and horrible to you. I was mean to Bobby.
You're mean to a lot of people. And I rolled it out as you'd lost your mom. So
And that's what it was. Is I like lost.
I
and
remember.
Then I like lost my sense of reality, and it's just like fuck everything. I don't care anymore.
I remember I was talking to your cousin Jordan, and like she was like, "Well, I think it's just, you know, blah 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 blah." And I'm like, "No, I think she's an asshole." But whatever. I mean,
you see, the thing with Jordan is she was in that group that I was hanging out with. At that time, she was in like the bad kids thing because she was doing the exact same stuff that the whole group was doing.
right?
So she was not like a good person. To
No,
talk to
obviously
me about it
not.
because she was biased because she was in that group of like the alcoholics and the pill poppers and the other drugs.
Mhm. But yeah,
It was what it was, and I snapped out of it eventually.
yeah, only because of the twins.
Yep.
And
If
just for
I-
the record, this is the first time we've ever called them the twins.
Yep. But I don't know where I would be without them. Because I would probably still be in that group.
Maybe. I mean, we try to shy away from our ex Jose because he's in that group, but you know,
Yeah.
whatever.
I was like,
It's about time to
really
see him again.
with him and Diego and
Yeah,
all of his.
all the pill popping friends.
It was what it was, and I think that if I hadn't got out when I did, I would have been in the same situation that he did.
Right.
I probably would have stayed with Jose anyway. I probably would not be here talking.
Probably.
I mean, you probably
We wouldn't
would've-
have. We wouldn't have our relationship. That's for sure.
No, because I about destroyed it in like the
Oh,
6
yeah.
or 7 months that I was with them.
You definitely told me off a few times.
Yeah.
You were like, "You're not my mama." I'm like, "No, but I'm someone who gives a shit about you, though."
Yeah. But my mood swings were like the worst. Because looking
Yes.
back on it, I'm like, oh no. Why
You were an
did
asshole.
I didn't even have the drugs.
True though.
It was definitely the drugs. The
Mm,
drugs were causing my mood swings, and I was all over the
Crap.
place.
right.
That is what it is, and I've grown since then.
Ugh.
I'm not the
It's the
person
past.
that I was back then, and thank God for that.
There.
Because the person I am now does not like who I was when I was 16, 17 years old, and was in with that crowd.
No. If you was to ever get back into that crowd, I would probably slap living bejeepers out of you.
I could see you just like pulling my ear
Yep.
and leading me away.
Yep.
You and Roberto both. You would each grab an ear and just yank.
I can see me and him doing that actually.
Yeah.
That'd be
I
funny, though.
mean, I fell back into it a little bit when I started hanging around Jordan again. A lot. Back when I was babysitting the kids a lot. I fell into it again because that was how I got paid most of the time.
Right.
Because I got paid in the drugs. And at that point, it was Joey who kind of snapped me out of it. But here's what it is. I had
It's the past.
a lot of problems again back when I relapsed and started it all again.
Right.
I was sick a lot because of what the drugs doing to my body.
Mm-hmm.
You can tell when I got back on the drugs because I lost a lot of weight very fast because of it. Fun times.
Right.
I think it's probably the most they talked about, like, having
That
a
problem.
drug and alcohol problem.
I mean, he's still kind of a little bit of an alcohol problem, but not like that.
Very good. But it's not as bad as it used to be. I still maybe dislike alcohol. I enjoy my alcohol. I like my
Just like I
liquors.
enjoy my Dr. Pepper.
I like my liquors. I like wine. I don't drink them as much, and now I've started doing the like hard seltzer stuff
Mm-hmm.
and getting away from like the liquors and the wines and stuff, which it may not be any better, but it is less expensive
True.
and it is not hard alcohol. And I'm not on pills anymore.
I'm glad, because if he was, I'd knock you out.
Hopefully I won't
Make
be
you
in a
everything.
situation where I will go back to it.
Well, me and Roberto wouldn't let you go back down that hole. And if you tried to go back down that hole, like I said, I'd punch you, probably.
You punch me and then you drag me here and
Yep.
you
Make you
detox and stuff. here.
detox here with me and Mom.
Yep.
And probably make you read Bible verses.
I don't think Mom knows about that whole situation. Not really, does she?
No. No. I'm surprised with how much we were just talking about it that she didn't hear it.
I don't know. Dad doesn't know either. He knows something was going on. He just doesn't know how bad it was.
Right. Well, now you're better with it, and, you know, I can never tell when you're drunk. No, anymore. You've
Because
only
I'm not-
come over here once like that.
Because I'm not as bad
Nope.
with it anymore.
But I think the reason why you were like that, it was because it was like around the holidays, wasn't it? It was after the New Year's. You come over here like that. Because you weren't here the whole month of December.
Yep.
Because you had COVID. Oh, damn, we got a 32-minute video. Somebody couldn't shut her mouth up, could they?
Oh, this turned from like a best friend to my
Life
an
story.
alcohol addiction story. Fun times. This is what you get when we start talking about best friends.
Right.
Because a lot of my stories with my best friends have to do with them helping me with my addictions.
Mm-hmm.
And if it wasn't for them, I don't think I would be.
Alive.
Yep. I probably would have had overdosed and.
I'd be raising your kids.
Yep.
I'm to be raising Josh and whatever kid that you and Jose would have had.
Yep.
Josie. I can see it now. He just comes into while Josh is playing this video. I said his name and now Jose is like, did she just really call me Josie again?
Yeah, you would have been stuck raising Joshy and then you went to pick him.
Right.
Because going down that path, I wouldn't be alive.
Right.
Because of
My stomach is
how
rumbling.
bad it really was.
Right.
I mean, Dad knew to a certain point because he met David. And David was really big on the heroin. And he would go and he would buy his needles from Dad. He didn't know that Dad worked there.
Ooh.
So, and it was the closest store. And he went and he got needles, and Dad found out about it.
Oh, is that guy that he was telling me about that he told
To stay
him
away
to
from
fuck
me.
off?
Yep.
Yeah, me and him. That was a conversation with me and him one time. He was like, yeah, I found out she was dating somebody and he wasn't a good person. He was like, I got a hold of him too. I was like, oh crap.
Yep.
I'm
That
like,
was-
and how are you not in jail?
That was David, and he was the other one that I was dating around that time besides Jose. And Jose was smart enough not to go to Morgan and David
Right.
just, they were convenient, and he was in Morgan, and so he went and he bought them, and Dad found out because at the time, Jay was working there.
Ooh.
Remember Jay?
Yeah.
And me and Jay were friends on like Facebook, and we talked, and I'm not sure he knew what exactly was going on,
Right.
but he knew that I was dating David.
Mm.
Jay mentioned it to Dad that David was there because me and David had posted like a bunch of photos on Facebook, so he knew what David looked like. Jay mentioned to Dad that David was there buying needles. Dad went off on him.
Dum 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 dum.
So that was completely and totally Jay's fault. If Jay hadn't have been there that day, Dad wouldn't have known.
Right. Did you fall in?
Yeah.
Okay, how much are me and Sissy scooping out? No, how much am I scooping out?
But Jay was the one that only they talked about.
I'm surprised your daddy wouldn't mind in jail.
He didn't, because David didn't want to go to jail either. Even though David was like the victim, if you want to put it as that.
Bullshit.
Yeah. He was like super duper out of it, and he would have gone to jail for not only being under the influence and driving, but also possession. So he didn't say crap to anybody because he didn't want to get jail time himself. He did tell Jose and Diego after it happened, and that's how I learned about it. So then David just kind of stopped hanging around.
Right.
Just because he was afraid that Jay would tell Dad if we were still hanging around. And that's when I got more involved with Diego and Angel and his family. This is like a, oh god, have I been talking for that long?
Yes.
I am done talking.
I wish
shut
that
up.
I wish that we could split this video in half.
I do too.
Like I could like put like when we were talking about our best friends, I could put it like in one section and I could put that one in another section. Probably the phone's about to die.
Run my mouth. And
That's the
now
most you've ever
know
talked.
about our best friends and about drug and alcohol issues.
Right.
I think this is the most that I've ever talked about it, as well as
To me, yeah.
yeah, as well as like the most that I've talked in any video that we've done so far. And I probably could talk for another like 30 something minutes if I really wanted
Probably.
to about it. But that's for another video if anybody wants it that I review. But yes, I'm not afraid to say that's who I was. I've grown
Yeah,
from
but
it.
yeah.
I'm not that person anymore. And it's a good thing to put out there if you recovered from something like that. Because
Yep.
maybe it'll help somebody out there.
Right? I'll tell you who it needs to help. One of the ones you were just talking about.
I don't think either of them.
It needs to help Jose. Maybe I need to push and say, I could get him back down that path again of being good.
Yeah.
Only thing I gotta say is, I'm single. Will you start going to church again? And then I want to flirt with you, and that's the way to get him back to being good.
Yeah. And I think you were like one of the only few that he tried to stop all of that for.
Mm-hmm.
And
I wished it would too. I wished it would again. Not just for me, but like for his mental health.
but David has gotten out of that situation.
I'm glad.
He is now the proud father of one, and he has another on the way with his lovely wife.
That's great.
And
I wish Diego and Jose would get out of it. But
proud of him for getting out of that situation. I wish he would.
I really wish Jose, but he would be a good father if he was to get out of it.
Diego, I don't see Diego doing it because he's one of like the main ones.
Mm-hmm. Now that we've talked for 40 minutes. But, yep.
Maybe he will, maybe he'll find the right person and will realize, hey, this isn't what I'm supposed to be doing.
Right.
I don't see him having kids or settling down the way that he's going.
Oh no, not Jose. Mm-mm. The person that he would get with wouldn't put up with it like me. I'm actually kind of glad that we don't have kids, or I would like beat the crap out of him probably.
Yeah. That's why I don't have kids.
We're just glad that we neither one of us ever had kids. The closest that either one of us had to having kids with him was Marcy.
My little puppy chickens.
My little puppy whoopee.
Alright, well, I think that's the end of this video. We've been talking for like almost 42 minutes at this point.
I know,
talked
right?
For like 30 minutes of it. She's talked for 10. I kind of took over because she said, oh, why don't you talk first? You see the mistake that leads to? Talk first, Marie. Yeah, 30 minutes later, she's still running her trap.
But I love you.
Love you too, but don't make me first unless you want like an hour-long video.
Alright guys, this was a really good video, and I learned some stuff about her, and I still love her.
A few things.
If she does it again, don't worry everybody, I will.
Knock me out.
I'll knock her out and make her talk, and talk a whole bunch of Jesus to her. True story.
Yep.
Hey, nobody wants to see that, Raleigh.
But I've talked for the 30 minutes. You've learned not to let me talk first.
But, okay, so, I know that by now this video is posted, and, y'all have learned some stuff about her, and you've learned some stuff about me.
Mostly me.
Mostly
and
her.
I feel bad about that.
No, it's fine.
Because
I wouldn't be able to
kinda,
hush it up either.
I kind of took over the video, and I feel kind of
Right.
bad for that.
So, yeah. If there's anything that we can help y'all with, feel free to comment below, and I
I'm not the
will
best
answer.
with advice. But
She's not
if
the best with advice, but I
you
am.
have questions about that, I will try to answer.
Exactly. Yes, we are cousins first and sisters second because we have that choice.
Yep.
And yes, we have irritated each other in the past
Yep.
and pissed each other off.
And a lot of it was due to that situation. But
Yeah.
we've grown closer from that, and we've fixed everything.
We've fixed a lot of stuff. I think the thing that I would want to fix in the past is not being able to go to prom with you and Jose and finding out he took somebody else instead of me.
Well, I wish you could have gone too. And I wish I hadn't been in that situation to begin with. I wish I would have had either you or somebody else that had come into my life.
Yeah.
If you kind of like bring me in and pull me back and be like, hey, no. This
I
isn't
tried my
what-
best to ring you back.
Yeah, you tried. But we just weren't close.
We weren't close. You were fussing at me a lot. You were being
And
rude.
I think Annie was an enabler of that.
Probably.
Because I kind of dragged her into the middle of it. And peer pressure is a thing. And I feel bad for like peer pressuring her into the situations that I did. Because we used to hang out around that time all the time. I think that was still the time me and her would spend like every other weekend together. And I wasn't the best friend that I should have been. And I would peer pressure her into a lot like that. And I know if me and you would have been that close, we wouldn't have fallen for that shit.
No. We better wrap this video up because it's about to be 50 minutes.
I told you, an hour later, I'm still talking.
Thanks guys so much for watching the video, and like, follow, subscribe. Congratulations if you lasted this long watching it. And thank you for basically just listening to her story and part of mine. Now I'm gonna go do my hair, and
Next
by the
week,
time
I'll let you talk more and you can
Exactly.
tell your story.
I will talk about some of the things that me and Kayla went through. We struggled as friends.
And I will be the good girl and just
Sit
Like
back
you
and
did.
listen, right? And I'll have blonder hair next week, so we're gonna go do my hair, and by the time we get done doing my hair, it'll be time for her daddy to pick us up and we'll go shopping
yay, shopping.
and have supper out if we can figure out what we want for supper besides Silver Creek.
Silver Creek sounds good to me.
Mama
So
says she
that's-
hasn't ate there in so long she doesn't know what to order.
They have some really good burgers.
But I know they have a really good chicken patty, so I might get that tonight. But anyway, thank you guys so much. And if you have any questions, if you want somebody to help you out of a dark time,
We're here.
enlist one of us.
I'm not good at giving
I
advice.
won't hit you.
I'm not good at giving advice, but I am good about talking about those kind of situations because I've been there.
Exactly. And
Thank you for listening to me ramble for about 40 minutes. We will do this again next week, but with more of her story.
yeah. If y'all want to, some of y'all that I know that I don't know what I was trying to say. To everybody that actually watches our channel, thank you so much. Thank you for appreciating us, and thank you for listening to us ramble on and on.
I'm not usually a rambler, but when I get to talking about certain subjects, I will go on for about 40 minutes.
But yeah.
It's been fun, and it's been kind of like therapeutic talking about everything. So if nothing else, at least that helped me.
That's true. Alright guys, thank y'all so much, and we will talk to you later. Bye.
Bye.